Well, December 6th, 2018, the beginning of the end of WordPress? Very possible. So let's have a look at this real quick. I'm going to do this video. I'm very saddened as a long time, better part of a decade, building out probably hundreds of WordPress websites. The WordPress developers, particularly this Matt Mullenweg, you guys in charge of this company need to kick him out the door. They're simply not listening to their users. They're wanting to push a system that nobody wants that completely goes against the core philosophy. This is quite hilarious. In fact, we're going to look at the philosophy of WordPress first. So this is the philosophy of what is WordPress. Out of the box, great software should work with a little configuration and setup. WordPress is designed to get you up and running and fully functional in no longer than 5 minutes. You shouldn't have to battle the use of standard functionality in WordPress. We work hard to make sure that every release is keeping with this philosophy. We asked as few technical details as possible during the setup process, and we will provide a full explanation. I'm not going to install a WordPress onto a test site here. I've done a couple different videos on that already, and nothing has changed from those videos. At the time I'm recording this, nothing has changed. Designed for the majority. Many end users of WordPress are not technically minded. They don't know what Ajax is, nor do they care about which version of PHP they're using. The average WordPress user simply wants to be able to write without problems or interruptions. These are the users that we design software for. So let me talk about that real quick. If you watch those other videos about Gutenberg is extremely difficult to write with. You cannot write outside of it and paste the document in. It will not paste in right. And you can't write in it from the outset because it's going to completely distract your writing process and greatly increase your time. So it is not designed for the majority. First and foremost, they've taken a system which was completely back in PHP and turned it entirely into one giant Ajax hover over, literally move your mouse around the screen and hover until some pop-up box shows up because your mouse hovered over it, and then you click a nebulous button which may or may not be what you're looking for. It was extraordinarily simple. Now it is extraordinarily complex. All based on JavaScript, which is stupid upon stupid, and introduces major problems and interruptions for the writer. It completely goes against the design for majority. Nobody's asked for it, and the majority of people have told them, don't do this. Decisions, not options. When making decisions, these are the users we consider first. A great example of this consideration is software options. Every time you give an option, a user option, you're asking them to make a decision. When a user doesn't care or understand the option, this ultimately leads to frustration. As developers, we sometimes feel that providing options for everything is a good thing. You can never have too many choices, right? Ultimately, these choices end up being technical ones, choices that the average end user has no interest. It's our duty as developers to make smart design decisions and avoid putting the weight of technical choices on the end of our users. All right, let's focus on that. Making smart design decisions. The old system, everything is on the screen, out of the way, and easy to access. The new version, nothing is on the screen, nothing anywhere is visible until you hover a mouse in some nebulous location that prior to that was simply a white space on the page. That is not a smart design. It is not for the end user, and it confuses the hell out of everybody that has used the Gutenberg plugin. Clean, lean, and mean. Well, we've already addressed this a little bit. It used to be based on PHP, which is very clean, lean, and mean. They've changed it to JavaScript, which is a giant mass mess that makes even a big, beefy recording PC like this run like it's a 286. In other words, for those not endorsed in the computer lingo, slow as molasses frozen on a subarctic glacier somewhere. But anyway, the core of WordPress will always provide a solid array of basic features. It's designed to be lean and fast and will always stay that way. Well, it won't stay that way when you embed it full of JavaScript. That's not exactly clean, lean, and mean. In fact, it's horrid and crappy. Rule of the thumb is that the core should provide features that 80% or more of end users will actually appreciate and use. Doesn't look like 80% of people want this crap, does it? If the next version of WordPress comes with a feature that the majority of users immediately want to turn off or think they'll never use, we've blown it. If we stick to the 80% principle, then this should never happen. You failed. You failed. Because the vast majority of people who try this Gutenberg crap want to go back to the old way. What do you tell them? Install the classic plugin. Developers don't want to install more plugins. I put out full-featured, amazing websites without a single plugin because I do not want to bloat the code for my client. I don't want to add this. And of course, initially they were saying this plugin is going to be supported for a long time. Now it's just until 2022, which is only 3 years away, people. And 80% of people want to turn it off. I think you failed your clean, lean, and mean test. We are able to do this because we have a very capable theme and plugin system and a fantastic developer community that we don't listen to. Different people have different needs and have the sheer number of quality WordPress plugins that allows users to customize their installations to taste. Oh, like removing the classic plugin everybody's telling you to do in only a couple of years. Guys, I've been building WordPress websites for 10 years, and some of them are still in existence. And we're not ready to move to this, and we probably won't be in 3 years. All right. This allows users to find the remaining 20% and make all those WordPress features they appreciate and use, like the classic plugin, classic editor. Striving for simplicity. Oh, we've blown it. We've already talked about this one. Again, is it simpler to use the classic plugin, which looks exactly like a word processor, feels like a word processor, behaves like a word processor, and is easy to understand as a word processor? Or is it simpler to use a giant UI messy crap with no buttons, no options, that you have to hover your mouse around nebulous locations to find the places to put something in, and then you need to drag things around? Every time you hit enter, it creates a new block. This is not simplicity. This is making it complicated. We are never done with simplicity. We want to make WordPress easier to use for every single release, and they have made it infinitely harder. We've got a good track record of this. If you don't believe us, just take a look back at some older versions. Yeah, you had a good track record. You have failed to demonstrate that. In past releases, we've taken major steps to improve the ease of use and ultimately make things simpler to understand. And then this WordPress 5.0, we completely blew that out of the water and put in the most complicated, overbearing piece of crap editor that nobody asked for and nobody wants. And by saying nobody, I'm meaning the vast majority. Deadlines are not arbitrary. Well, they really felt good about forcing this on us. The vocal minority, there's a good rule of thumb within internet culture that the 1% rule. It states the number of people who create content on the internet represent approximately 1% or less of people actually viewing the content. While we consider it really important to listen and respond to those who post feedback and voice their opinions on the forum, they only represent a tiny fraction of our end users. When making decisions on how to move forward with future versions of WordPress, we look to engage more of those users who are not so vocal online. So we do this by meeting and talking to users at WordCamps. By the way, at the last WordCamps, people overwhelmingly did not like Gutenberg. And there's some information. So, of course, Matt Mullenweg, may he be fired in hostility, says, based on stability, testing, and reports of the release candidate for WordPress 5, so far we're targeting Thursday, December 6th for public release announcement. 5.0.1 will open for commits soon and will be an area people can choose to focus on. What Contributor Day at WordCamp US in Nashville this Sunday. Hopefully they say, undo this crap! Okay. Now, of course, they say install the classic editor plugin if you're not ready for Gutenberg. I mean, it will be undistinguishable from 4.9.8. Of course, this is only going to be supported until 2022. Guys, next month, in less than 30 days, it will be 2019. Okay, that only gives you 3 more years on this. Okay, over 1.3 million .org sites have already opted to either Gutenberg or Classic plugin, which is more than any other single version of WordPress prior to WordPress 4.7. You could not install these on WordPress 4.7. All right, so what does all of this, based on stability testing and reports, what does this look like? Well, here is the plugin page, and I've been checking this nearly every day for about a month. There are only 85 out of 294 known issues resolved. You call that stable? There is, I can't do the quick math in my head, but all these, and by the way, I've read nearly all of these reviews. Well over half of these 5-star reviews should be 1-star reviews. What ends up happening is that when you go to review a plugin on WordPress, it defaults to 5-star rating. You have to manually change it to have a rating that is not 5-star. And so a lot of people in their frustration came on here, posted their negative review, and forgot to change the star count. So this is very much closer to about, I'd say about 1,200 to maybe about 100 people actually like this. So let's have a read through these ratings. Is this all new? Well, look at this. Let's just go ahead and pull some of these guys up, see what people are saying. See, there's an example. Most bad change of all life is a 5-star rating. Look at this. This is an inconvenient function when transfer. This guy, though, probably legitimately puts it at 4. Let's see what he says. We're just going to go ahead and read a bunch of these comments for the rest of the video. So my apologies if this isn't quite as family friendly. I'm not going to read the Russian one because I can't read it. Okay, does this look like something that the 80% of people would want to get rid of? WordPress is bright. I'm not going to read the other Russian one either. Okay, so we are doing, let's just grab from the last day or so. All right, we'll just go ahead and start there. Maybe if we have fun with this, we'll go ahead and do more. I'm going to mark my spot where I'm at. All right, irresponsible choice to make default. Should be kept as a plugin. I agree. There's some people that might want this nonsense, and for them it should be available as a plugin. This one, I love this one. Complete junk. It's junk. This guy had the best comment of all. To be fair, it's incomplete junk, which is correct. It seems like a very incomplete system. Broken compatibility, doesn't work, difficult to use. Refer to my previous videos about how crappy this nonsense actually is. Thank you, Gutenberg. The only positive thing about Gutenberg is it forces me to look for other free CMS options like Joomla and Drupal. ClassicPress.net is the WordPress fork you're looking for. Thank you. By the way, ClassicPress.net is, they are committed to keeping WordPress as Gutenberg free over there. Thank you. I'm beginning to learn more about it. Probably going to switch after some trial into beginning stages. Why force this plugin on a whole community? Thank you, WordPress, for bugging out multiple sites I built for customers. Very unfriendly way the team pushed this update down our throats. This should have been an optional plugin. Future's bright with Gutenberg. I see a bright future with Gutenberg. I don't know why others are having issues with it. As far as I know and understand things, Gutenberg is much better than the classic editor. Well, that's part of the problem, I guess. This guy's not a developer. My guess is he probably doesn't do a lot with this. The occasional post here and there. Okay, I run personally like 5 websites on WordPress, I think. And I, like I said, I'm always building a ton of them, doing videos for people on how to update their sites. This is a mess. Okay, and no, it is not much better. Like, as far as I know and understand, that's not exactly like, do you not understand? Did you not try them both? I don't understand what he's talking about. It really simplified the way we write posts. Well, this is one of those rare guys that the plugin option would be a good thing. This guy is, okay, so these are kind of the responses to him over the past couple hours, but people don't. This Gutenberg I use, imagine on the right and the left, and the classic editor is really simple. Here is all messed up. You have too much clicking and writing for a simple paragraph. Classic, blah, blah. This is too much a waste of time. Sure, he didn't even know what this is about, or just no offense, new kid on the block. Okay, so he responds to these. New kid, I'm using WordPress more than 4 years ago. I'm using it for many clients too. I've seen Gutenberg is creating an issue for them who relies on plugins. A lot of plugins for most of their functionality, and hate is coming from them and some digital marketing. So even a guy who is given this 5 stars, who has a lot of clients using this, it's coming back. Their functionalities are breaking, their websites are breaking, and hate is coming from them and some digital marketing industry who only just get things to work. So even a guy who rated it 5 stars says his clients are coming back and saying this is breaking the site, they hate it, a lot of people are coming back. This guy broke my sites. This is not ready and will break every website out there. It's not even April Fool's. Eli 5. Why I want to play with a block? Never mind. At best, far from ready for core. Not sure what else to say, pointing out the various problems I got with my earlier reviews being deleted. Apparently there's been an issue with a lot of negative reviews of it being deleted. Wix copycat. What a horrible idea to push this on others. Not everyone does Wix thingy on their site. Developers behind WordPress and this plugin should listen to people. Farewell, WordPress. So you did it. Staying deaf and blind for protests. You've forced millions of users to this crap. We've just frozen over 100 websites for any updates and started to prepare to move them all elsewhere. Yes, it will cost. Yes, we are furious. Remember this day, 6th of December, 2018. The fall of WordPress has just begun. I hope your profits are worth it. P.S. Now you can stop deleting comments and reviews. You've got your thingy, right? And here's Jan, one of the super moderators, who I've read several of Jan's reviews and replies. And, oh, Lord, I'm just lucky I'm behind a computer, I guess. Okay, nope, this is your feedback will stay. Yeah, the problem is they've already deleted thousands of feedback. Just wanted to address before I close the review. I hope your profits are worth it. Please keep your conspiracy theories off the forum. Guys, Automatic. WordPress is owned by Automatic. It is a for-profit company. Stop forcing it on us. What the actual bleep is this abomination? Stop forcing it on us. Why would I use something that looks disgusting and can't even make a single post like a normal human being? You know, some of us write blog posts with over 2,000 words and spend our time writing in the post editor. I'd rather be eaten alive by worms than use this for 5 more minutes. Now I even have to add another program plugin and bloat my website just to disable this waste of matter remaining after food has been digested. Don't like it. Please remove this from the core version. He just simply is pasting this in every negative review. That ship has sailed. The train has left the station. The dice have been thrown. Blah, blah, blah. Because we're morons and we do not want to listen to anybody's criticism. So here, install the classic plugin editor. By the way, let's go ahead and have a look at the classic plugin editor. All right. Classic plugin editor. Holy camolies. Look at this. This thing's got a 4.9 out of 5-star reviews. It's got 1 1-star review. What's this 1 1-star review? I'm just getting curious. 1-star review says, false idea. Quality of code of this plugin is actually irrelevant as the idea behind it is totally false. Looking at the code, it's obvious that disabling Gutenberg is a relatively complex task which will probably require continuous updates for every release of Gutenberg, something that even if it will happen in the code of this plugin will not be obvious for site owners. The option to disable Gutenberg should be part of the Gutenberg core to make sure it's synchronized with whatever changes are being made to the Gutenberg code. As a side for the plugin to be useful, it also needs to convert Gutenberg posts to non-Gutenberg when such posts exist. Such as having an option means that this plugin can be deployed only when setting a new site. So in other words, the 1 1-star review is saying Gutenberg is a bad thing. The plugin is simply pulling the blinders over the eyes and that it will eventually fail. Amazing 1-star review of this plugin. That is an amazing 1-star review. All right. So, and again, you can't just toggle. You can't just install this plugin and toggle back and forth. If you launch your site and you got Gutenberg thing and you're just like pulling your hair out and you're like, what is this nonsense? I got to go back and you install this. It is not going to be as intuitive as simply installing and activating the plugin because Gutenberg mars up the code. That is a problematic thing. All right. So we have everything else. The best plugin that shouldn't have to exist. This is the best. By the way, this thing hadn't received many edits until this WordPress 5 nonsense jumped out just today. Of course, WordPress 5 was just put out today as I'm recording this video. This plugin had not seen new comments in quite a while. And then all of a sudden we get a big rush of 5-star reviews. Can't understand that language. All right, classic editor works great. New editor gives a blank screen. After updating WordPress, the new editor gave me a blank white screen when editing posts and pages. Thankfully, the classic plugin editor fixes it. Oh, so Gutenberg broke someone's website. Shocking. I'm just totally surprised. Using it several months now, no issues. I couldn't care less about the new block editor. It's overwhelming and confusing at the same time. Guys, is this just me ranting and raving and whining like a little baby? No, it's not. Guys, I am a long-time seasoned user of WordPress since version 1. Gutenberg is the worst piece of code I've ever seen come to WordPress. It is the worst piece of code I've seen on the internet. Guys, the worst website on the internet is better than this nonsense. So this guy writes in here, it's overwhelming and confusing at times, should be simple, right? I mean, philosophy. And I'm saying this as a coder. This is a coder can't figure this out. This is like me. I am a WordPress developer with years of experience and hundreds of sites, and I can't figure this crap out. It's meaningless nonsense. Great plugin. Has all that it needs. Don't forget to visit your settings. Right page, configure, edit default. So don't forget, we are still in the classic plugin editor. Thank God we have this. Could not imagine what I would do with this new stupid Guten bleep of WordPress. Particularly, we'll have to learn to migrate to Joomla or something else. Don't want plugins. Return the old editor. RIP. I don't want plugins. Absolutely. Okay, plugins should not be there to restore core functionality people are asking for. And this Gutenberg goes completely against the philosophy. Total bleep Gutenberg editor panel. I hope they deactivate it soon, but happily it works well with this plugin. Last exit before Gutenberg. I don't know why they removed this working piece of software, but at least it's still available to reinstall. Shame on you, folks. Removing a work solution is like blinding yourself. A working solution is like blinding yourself. Classic Editor doesn't remove Gutenberg style sheet. So far, the Classic Editor seems to work fine, but installing it won't delete the Gutenberg block style sheet. If you're not going to use Gutenberg, you don't need the style sheet, and it just wastes bandwidth. So he posted a link on how to remove it. I'm sure that link will disappear after a mod sees it. Okay, I've never reverted so quickly to any other platform I can think of. The block editor is and has been terrible. Fortunately, I'm having no issues with the Classic Editor plugin, though I've preferred not to need to install a plugin in the first place. To echo a few other people's suggestions, be sure to go into Settings, Writing, in order to further remove the block editor if you so desire. It saves you from having to choose between editors or having the block editor set to default. This is the best. We don't need Gutenberg. Best plugin that shouldn't have to exist. The irony is this has up to 700,000 active installations and higher reviews than the new version. I mean, I'm glad they made this, but it's a sad truth they shouldn't have had to. The feedback was very strong. No one wanted the new editor. All right, so that is the Classic Editor that Mr. Steven Stern keeps on telling everybody to do. If we walk through this, he just kind of jumped on for a shift of copy-paste. I think he's a monkey. We need to feed him a banana. Copy-paste, copy-paste, copy-paste. Because as we go through and everyone's saying don't like it, oh, look, Steve, install this. Nightmare for bloggers posting more than 1,000 words. Horrible release. Completely untested and carelessly released. Avoid. I can't even move taxonomy blocks above or below other blocks. What? GC Designs sucks. I cannot believe this is forced on us in the new updates for WordPress. Apparently no one reads the reviews that people dislike it so much. It's going backwards, not forwards. I don't care how much you try to butter it up for us. A lot of plugins I use don't work with this stupid thing at all. I'm not happy, WordPress. Not happy at all. If this is going to be forced of us, I'm looking somewhere else to host my site. This is crap. Classic Editor. Our monkey has spoken. Would it be possible for you to list the plugins you're having trouble with? How about all of them? For crying out loud. There's like the ones made by Automatic seem to work. I wonder why that is. Remove this from the core of WordPress. Yes, remove it from the core of WordPress and keep it as a plugin. I hate it. Install the classic editor. The monkey has spoken again. It would be helpful to know a little bit more about what you dislike. Oh my God, design simply, he always asks this question. I think this is his copy paste thing. Is there anything specifically going wrong? Have you tried different modes? Oh, did Fast Puppy respond? All right, let's see, Fast Puppy. Let's see, Stern. Oh yes, okay, so Stern. Yes, the editor sucks, but having the classic editor plugin does not fix my myriad of problems the editor causes with other software. Plugins and themes that were created through bungled introduction of this editor that nobody wanted. It would have been one thing if they introduced the new editor as a plugin and somehow collected usage statistics to justify further deployment. However, this did not happen. Most of us have used WordPress for years, and it was a stable development platform that we could rely on. With the introduction of Gutenberg, that is no longer the case. I can't speak for others, but forcing this editors on us has cost my company and my clients thousands of dollars for our developers, and it has been trying to hit a moving target. So take your classic editor plugin and well, forget it. It's not your fault this fiasco happened. To be fair, Fast Puppy, they did test us as a beta for several months. Yeah, they tested as a beta for several months, and they got this kind of feedback. Yes, and we hated it in beta, resisted updates, etc. on active sites, even started using other CMS solutions for new products. We have been working to adapt to this, but the issue kept popping up, and it's costing us a fair amount of money. I know other companies are worse off than us, though. Please remove Gutenberg editor and go back to the classic editor. Yes, delete it already. It will not lead to good. People are waiting for version 5.0.1 tomorrow with the old editor. We do not need plugins. Design simply. May I ask specifically what's going wrong when you're using Gutenberg? I agree. Removing Gutenberg. I have to use the classic editor because Gutenberg is not flexible. Too many clicks. I can't do stuff with one click in the normal editor. With Gutenberg, I have to use 3 clicks. I didn't get what I want. Remove it. The other way works to improve the editor, and other people are not developers. They use WordPress to publish first. Please stop this virus. At least make this remain as a useless plugin. Putting it into the core of WordPress is like letting an ISIS terrorist to stay at night in your house. Please stop. And Kevin loves that analogy. Yes, we have all let ISIS terrorists into our WordPress core. Not flexible, bugs, and poor. I've tested Gutenberg. The results is not flexible. Example, if I wanted to look into text, I have to click a paragraph after paragraph. Before it was easy, now I can see it all in one shot. The blocks paragraph classic editor, for whatever the blocks most of them wanted to publish, not to lose time between choosing blocks and the blocks they just want to write and not care about classic and adding blocks. Also putting pictures right and left of block or the classic editor, you see exactly what you're doing and what you're trying to do with Gutenberg. It's not like this. In one word, go back to the classic editor and improve it with the idea that the public want to publish, not lose time with blocks. Okay, so here's a 4-star review. There's an inconvenient function in the Gutenberg when transferred to classic HTML code. Hello, Gutenberg team. I found Gutenberg will change my HTML code even in classic blocks. So it does something you don't want it to do. Okay. And the most inconvenient part is it will change the code blocks, like some function or command with special characters. We do not make, guys like us developers sometimes use the code block to put things that we want to see in code. It's kind of useful for developers. Apparently that's broken. For instance, it will change to quote NN will be changed to NN, which is useless for our articles and makes us put more necessary strength on modifying our articles. So please fix this. Thank you for reading. So negative review has a 4 out of 5-star rating. The most bad change of all life. Bad idea. Very disappointed. From all the hype, I thought Gutenberg was going to give users the ability to create blocks anywhere and rearrange elements to our heart's content, a feature we've long been asking for. Instead, it's only a post-page editor, and it's buggy at best. I didn't lose any data, always back up, kids, but the new editor is frustrating to use. Blocks that should be movable aren't, such as image blocks. Copying and pasting text results in weird highlighting that I can't get rid of. The new 2019 theme is far from doing more with less plugins. There's no option to customize colors except for a slider you can't fine-tune and add hexadecimal value. No good, WordPress. I've been a user for over a decade and used to recommend WordPress to clients bar none. At this point, I can't recommend. I know I can use the classic plugin, but I was really excited about this update and hoped I wouldn't have to. Low functionality, introduces unnecessary confusion. Idiotic, forced and unnecessary change of the default editor, which introduces only chaos. Amateurs need to translate all changes or introduce a patch that were stored at default editors. This is not a complete solution that eliminates most of the content management problems. Has low functionality. Here it is, necessary to the additional plugins, e.g. for additional fields or writing everything yourself in the code. Forced change should be when necessary. Horrible. With so many great page builders out there, this feature was completely unnecessary. If a page builder is not needed, then the standard pre-Gutenberg classic editor was perfectly adequate. I've just wasted a day disabling it on all of my clients' websites. All right, we have just read through the reviews just from today. Let's go ahead and read a few more, shall we? You can end the video at any point in time. I'm not sure I'm going to have anything more of substance to say. We're just going to go through and read a whole lot more comments and see what people are saying. I'm just more curious about some of these 5-star. I mean, the supposedly good comments were negative. I think that one's a different language, but we'll pull it up anyway, just in case. I'm going to skip that one. This guy apparently is on drugs, but we're going to go ahead and try it out anyway. Error links. That looks... Okay, not defect free. This guy says it's the future. Another drug abuser. Say no to drugs, kids. Holy crap. Gutenberg equals Brexit deal. Any Brits out there watching this? Totally frustrating. Plugin is okay, would never install it. Oh my, what a word. What a mess. Okay, looks nice and fine, horribly used. Pretty much useless. All right, let's see. So this gets us comments from the last week. I don't know, maybe this will be the last round of comments we read. I mean, 1 week of comments. We don't want to read all 1,000 of these, but I kind of want to document this for when they kind of take this out. All right, so pretty much useless from 1 week ago. From the cosmetic surgery point of view, it makes the editor screen look younger, fresh, and clean. When it comes to usability, the size and most important development, it's a big mess and a ton of unfriendly code. Something that was so simple to code before turned into mission impossible. I guess all the time invested in Gutenberg development should have been invested in making tiny MCE cleaner, leaner, and meaner instead. I just can't find anything good to Gutenberg except the interface. It's even a big shame to name this plugin after a guy who invented something so significant for humankind. I think he just said this is a piece of crap. All right, looks nice, fine, but horrible to use. The plugin and its definitive visual improvement that works decently well. Needless to say, it's quite counterintuitive to use. Ever-incurring pop-ups, hover effects, and highlights are a huge distraction. Remember they're trying to make distraction-free writing and simple, easy, and intuitive to use? I think that just violated it. It's simple when you use simple blocks. If you want to achieve something more robust, mixed columns, shortcodes, multiple types of content, the whole admin interface is unreadable and extremely counterintuitive. Finally, the plugin puts a huge strain on the user browser given the fact that most of the job is done via JavaScript, not to mention the amount of JavaScript-related bugs that prevent some Ajax-based plugins like ACF Pro from working correctly. While I believe a lot of work has been put in the plugin itself, the whole project hasn't been well thought out or well planned. I don't think there's anything that could be done for the project apart from putting it into the trash and starting over. If the amount of negative responses from users is not enough, then it means people responsible for the project are not the right ones, i.e. fire Mark. Thought. Time and time again, people and programmers who've been using WordPress have been showing that they don't care about artificial restrictions imposed by people behind WordPress. The editor will... Okay, here's from Matt Mullenweg. May he soon be fired in chaos. The editor will create a new page and post-building experience that makes writing rich posts effortless and has blocks to make it easy today. What takes shortcuts, custom HTML, or mystery meet embed discovery. The main quote is a huge example of ignorance or lack of interest in third-party plugins, perhaps. This plugin is nowhere near already existing page block-based builders. As a senior WordPress developer, I don't think anything good will come out of this, with all due respect and humbleness. This guy says, couldn't agree with you more. The whole project screams of missed opportunities in places and slowness and bugginess and the nail in the coffin. Not for the developers, mind you, but for users like you and me and third-party developers sitting on the fence waiting to see what pans out and what the options and alternatives are. Given the zeal that this has been pushed, a lot of goodwill could have come from investing by not making it default, keeping the current editor default with a simple switch in the settings to indicate a far longer lead in time. But alas, Big Ulster says no. I don't see any reason to even use as an optional solution. See, I personally say that, but you know what? I'm willing to say there's some people out there abuse drugs and think that the Gutenberg is actually a good WordPress editor and so might want to use it. So sure, given the option of a plugin, hey, it's a plugin, I don't got to install it. This guy says, nice builder. Gutenberg is really nice step. For me, as for me, would be nice to see improved interface, but now it's a step in the future in the correct direction. Yes, something it's not 100% perfect, but everything need time. I'm sure that this editor will grow into something really nice. No, I hope it dies really fast in its infancy. But in all honesty, though, I mean, at least this guy seems to like it. But okay, hey, we got a legitimate. I think this is the first legit positive review we've seen. Oh my word, what a mess. Scrolling windows within scrolling windows, fields that are partial on the screen and no way to scroll down to them. It's a total disaster. If this is the future of WordPress, we are in trouble. We have a moderator. Not sure what you're seeing. No scrolling here. Everything on the screen. Maybe... Oh boy, I think Herbert is giving us some links. Let's see if any of these are active. Maybe he's seeing something like this or this or this similar. Annoying scrolling behavior in Gutenberg. Oh, here's some pictures if you're not seeing it. Look at this. Scrolls inside of scrolls. Oh my god, this is an abomination. Can't scroll the page at the bottom of it. Any pictures? 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 Woo, pictures! Here's what theirs looks like. Don't mind that this is a Chinese post. Look at this. Scrolls inside of scrolls. Oh my god. Guys, the worst website in the world doesn't have that many scrolls inside of scrolls. Additional menu item settings. You can't get to it. Cannot reach the end of the post. Must scroll. Scroll to the bottom when scrolling up. Must scroll the left menu to reach. This is even worse with additional meta boxes like Yoast. Here's Yoast at the bottom. Can't get to the bottom of it. You can't actually edit your SEO. Oh my god. Oh, here's a GIF. Woo. Oh my god, that's like scrolling in multiple directions. Oh my god. Scroll bars inside of scroll bars. Noticing that I can see 2 scroll bars here when testing with WordPress and Gutenberg using Chrome. Okay, scroll bars inside of scroll bars some more. Oh my god. This guy says, I can't scroll to the bottom of the window. What are you seeing? This guy says, hey, a lot of other people are actually reporting something similar. Maybe see this. Okay, are you seeing what he's seeing now? No, posting random links doesn't solve anything. Actually, Odo, I think it actually does. Developers are using big 4K monitors. That's legitimately the problem. I see this a lot when I'm building responsive web design. I was doing this today. The guy's like, okay, well, it's cutting off the post. I said, well, it has to cut off the post because if you go to a 1366 by 720 monitor laptop, where you have a smaller screen, which that is the most popular resolution for a mid-model laptop, then it's going to condense the screen down a little bit and you'll have an extra line. If we don't cut the extra line off, it's going to misbalance the page. They didn't quite understand that. So if all these developers are using amazing, and they must be using 4K monitor Macs, because only Macs can be as arrogant as to avoid everybody's criticism and push along with it regardless, despite their philosophy or anything else. So using big 4K monitors, they're like, well, I don't see any problem. And they forget the fact that not everyone uses a 4K Mac. For crying out loud, some of us actually have smaller resolution screens. All right. Let's see. So WikiWills feeds in. And how do you know this? Gutenberg works without multiple scrolling issues on my 13-inch MacBook. Well, I don't know what the resolution is, although that probably is a 1366, depending on the age of the MacBook. But some MacBooks are, some 13-inch MacBooks, I believe, could be HD screens. But I think that this legitimately, because these 3 links aren't just random links, they seem to describe what the OP is describing. Plugin is okay, but would never install it. He at least gives it a 3 out of 5. Okay, dude, didn't break the site. I still don't see a compelling reason to use it over the classic editor, and the content as blocks concept is still awkward in practice unless it's forced on WordPress. I wouldn't install it. Well, it's forced. Totally frustrating. Oh, this plugin will take away the simplicity and fill the whole thing with ad hoc shortcomings. So slow, multi-step works, lost in the desert with square pizza. Bleep! Tell us what you really think. Good, but keep it as a plugin. I think it'll be good if not included in the core because WordPress will lose the simplicity. Yeah, they didn't care. Gutenberg equals Brexit deal. Any guys over there in Britain? You guys can comment on this. Unfortunately, I have to leave an extremely negative appraisal. Ooh, he sounds like he's going to be intellectual. I might enjoy reading this. I've been using WordPress for around 19 years. I don't think WordPress has been around for 19 years. It's close, but maybe. I don't know. I've been using it. Maybe it is. I have been using it for, wow. I have been using it for about 14 or 15, I guess. So yeah, maybe 19. All right. Unsuccessfully managed 6 websites getting into the first page in Google. So he's good at SEO. Sure. The incarnation or editing is not only far worse than any other editor, it is horrible to use, and I'm just depressed using it. Oh boy. Get this guy some bandages. I think we have a gusher. I've given it my best shot for about 2 months now, fully committing to the journey. No one likes change, and I'm sure Gutenberg developers are just saying that. And I understand where they want to take this. They are trying to get a bigger audience by making the editor more, quote, user-friendly, end quote. But they have just made a mistake, a big one that could ruin the whole platform. I got used to using the visual editor in the old system and also the HTML. Both were working just fine. This version has made it hard to customize the picture, headings, and general purpose use, and so I almost don't want to build blogs anymore. I'll do it if I have to, but I'm sure that most developers, I'm not one, will be wondering if WordPress are putting them out of work. Not so, they will have quadruple amount of clients asking them to fix their broken blog posts and pages. It's like taking an IKEA flat pack, which are fairly simple and erect, but need a slight application to build, and replacing it with a similar version, but with twice as many parts and no intuitive way of putting it together. Or taking a Mac device and turning it into a Windows machine and saying, there, it's a new version of Mac. I sincerely hope they see their mistake before it's too late to revert. Adds complexity without aiding to layouting. I thought with blocks I could put images and text side by side in a responsive fashion. How wrong was I? It's just the old editor made more complex and annoying to deal with without offering any real benefit. I don't need a sexy admin panel or editor. I need an admin panel or editor that lets me quickly and effortlessly publish content. The only positive thing I found was reusable blocks help me write repetitive statements, which, by the way, you can do with a widget already, and you could have done with a widget already for a long time. All right, so this is an interesting one because this is, if you want to build something like, if you add Fusion or Elementor or a lot of these other block editors, these are legitimate block editors. You can go in and you can say, we're going to add a row here, and this row has 4 columns. And I'm going to drag, I'm going to put a block here, a block here, a block here, a block here, and you'll get effectively a responsive layout. Gutenberg presently does not do that. All it allows you to do is throw a block up there. You can't put them side by side, except you can throw an image beside a block if you have aligned it in that direction. You cannot do the other things that these other mature page builders already do. I think it used to be called Visual Composer. What's it called now? It's like WP Bakery, I think it's called. I forget. Those are all page builders that have a lot of functionality built into them already. And for people who want those, they are already available, and for people who don't want those, the classic editor was exactly what people want. All right, not ready to go into the core. It's good to have a vision for better user experience in writing blogs. However, I found that Gutenberg is not ready to go into the core because so many bugs and non-existent features for mobile responsive and ease of use. So in other words, it's harder to use. Why, oh why? Working in the editor is not intuitive unless you are only used to texting on your mobile phone. Mixing text, paragraph, pictures, and setting it up is hopeless, and more often than not, the elements end up in wrong places. And that's only when creating new articles and pages. Editing older articles and pages just adds to the complexity. The Gutenberg is just something new for the sake of newness, and that's just stupid. The developers are clearly just serial bloggers or non-WordPress users. I'm going with non-WordPress users because no serious blogger has an interest in using Gutenberg. No serious blogger. Like, there is no legitimate reason. I demonstrated this very clearly on the other things I did, where I first tried to write a post in it, and it was like insanely impossible. And then I tried to write a post out of it and paste it in, and it ignored spaces all over. I literally pasted in 1,000 word, block of text, 1,000 or so block of text, and I had no less than 100 different places where it omitted a space. I had to go back in to the post that I'd written out and go in and put spaces in everywhere. I'm going with non-WordPress users. The developers are non-WordPress users because I don't think a serial blogger would be interested in this crap. The future. Change is not easy, but it is difficult. It is difficult change that is clearly necessary. I think he's just on drugs. Guys, let's comment on this stuff before we jump off of it. No one really likes change. But the fact of the matter is, change can be good, change can be bad. But just because you don't like a change doesn't mean it's a bad thing, because change for the sake of change is just as bad as never changing because you don't want to change. What we're looking at is thousands of reviews from people who have taken the time to look at this and are reporting real, legitimate issues, not just going, I don't like it. So, sorry, Slow Eye. I think you are drinking down some red eye. Not defect free. This is not a step forward, folks. To perform a simple task such as using bold that was once a single-click process has turned into a 2- or 3-click one, reducing productivity of users by a large margin for what should be a simple task. Please don't force this on WordPress users, otherwise we are all going to use plugins to remove Gutenberg. Don't force WordPress to mimic website builders. Gutenberg is oppressive and maddening and limiting. WordPress has been all about giving us more choices, more versatility. Please don't dumb down WordPress by forcing it to mimic a website builder, or keep Gutenberg as a plugin. Please let us keep the classic editor begging now. Oh, look, another monkey. Use the classic editor plugin. We love Gutenberg. You and what army, Gary? You and the 3 other drunk morons in the corner love Gutenberg. That's nice, but most of the developer community and final users of WordPress don't. It's not replacing website builders. It's just easier and quicker way to write, edit, and style your content. No, it's not. Holy crap. All right. Gary, how can you not understand the basic things? When Gutenberg becomes part of the engine, many plugins that target the classic editor will simply stop working. This will break thousands of sites. Oh boy, the OP posted back. Sergo, I fear you are dead on correct. However, as bad as Gutenberg may be, that may not be the worst issue at hand. Really? It's not the worst issue at hand that's going to break thousands of plugins? Oh, I'm on pins and needles. What's going to be the worst? Your comment won't be here long, my friend. All comments in this thread in agreement with my 1-star review are going to be deleted. What has happened to our beloved open source democratic WordPress? All right. Let's see. It's Serga. You're correct. At Suskanu. That's correct. Many comments of mine were deleted yesterday by WordPress moderators. I'm testing out other blogging platforms now as I speak. They actually deleted my original review of Gutenberg. I attempted to repost it, simply calling it junk. My other post was deleted, but they deleted it. Oh boy, my favorite guy. This was a couple days ago. I don't think he took the hardline dedicated time to do his copy-paste technique here. Everyone, comments that were removed were commends on other comments. There is no conspiracy here. Frankly, everything after initial review should have been removed. In any case, I'm closing this review as it's not reviewing anymore. Okay. Error links. 5-star review. I love Gutenberg, but I did not use it because the bar when making a link does not disappear from the screen. Okay. So this person likes it, but doesn't use it because of errors. Gave it a 5-star review. I'm not sure if this was supposed to be 5 or 1. After you add a link, click the enter icon next to the link. It should go away. So I have to do never mind. I don't even want to know. Gary, I'll just refer you to my other video. Just take a look at the links in the description down below here. I can't card the video like 6 different times. It is so not easy to use. This guy is smoking some serious crack. I'm telling you what. It's not a builder. It's a new paradigm. I really think these guys are getting paid by Automatic to write these reviews. All right. Let's see what he says. It's not a builder, it's a new paradigm. Guys, maybe I don't want a new paradigm. Just a thought. A jump ahead to the future. Build consistent, reusable, customizes blocks is indeed the future of WordPress. I have been using Block Lab, advanced custom fields, and custom post types. This experience has added to the real time of preview blocks. Is amazing and powerful. You're just in place again, WordPress. All this without learning React or using JavaScript at the moment. This guy has got to be on the development team, to be perfectly honest. Nothing he says. Okay, build consistent. No. Reusable, customizable blocks is indeed the future of WordPress. None of those are functions that actually work well right now. Gutenberg, 4 out of 5-star review. I've been learning a lot lately, and I'm still learning. Glad to be part of WordPress/Gutenberg plugins. Okay. So it's a generally positive review. My opinion, cool plugin, not the bet. I'm guessing best. 9. Yeah, I can't read that. I'll leave that on the screen for just a second for you guys who like to use it. Pause the video now. And someone tell me what that says in the comments down below. All right, Buggy and Feature Bear, 2 out of 5-star review. I like the concept of this plugin, but the idea that it will become default editor in WordPress 5 Core is concerning. There's obviously a lack of features and versatility present in the current classic editor, as well as a plethora of bugs in Gutenberg. The concept is modern and interesting, but this is not ready to be forced on WordPress users. It seems that WordPress is trying to make WordPress 5.0 appealing to users as a drag and drop might be simpler to use, while at the same time alienating experienced users. I have uninstalled the plugin and hope WordPress reconsiders changing the default editor. I do not want to install an extra plugin for the classic editor once 5 comes out. Complete mess. Completely counterintuitive way of editing, blown out of the water by even the mediocre page builder plugins, let alone the good ones. Too many clicks required to achieve things, very poor, excessively cluttered screen, but still too many controls only visible on hover. No way to have a list or other formatting within a table that I could find. Breaking changes for custom blocks with every new version doesn't inspire confidence. Having installed Classic Editor on every site and will be moving to Classic Press. ClassicPress.net, folks. ClassicPress.net. The best is coming. 5-star review. After a few adjustments, it's now working very well. Ready for the future. So easy. Need more blocks in native slider. Okay. We have another happy customer. Him and Jerry are hitting the bong or something, I guess. All right. Not usable. Sorry, but if you are writing long text, maybe you are a blogger, you will become a blocker next time. Please let the job of preparing a good page editor by the pros and get back, or better, stay on a usable article editor. I love the new possibilities. Good work. It's essentials that the old editor gets replaced. The migration from Classic Editor to Gutenberg happened without any troubles for my installations. Congratulations. No, there's nothing in the Classic Editor that actually needs replaced. It's had its errors over the years, but frankly, it's very easy to get used to. So it's a POS. I just wasted several hours trying to get this to work. Finished my work and noticed a red banner at the top saying update failed. No explanation. Tried preview, didn't work. Tried publish, error message saying publish failed. Said draft was saved. I closed the post thinking I could redo it with the MCE editor. The draft was blank. This POS should not even be an option until it works properly. At least my experience wasn't that bad, but occasionally, don't like it. Why don't you keep this as a plugin as what it is, a plugin? Don't include this in the WordPress core and make life easier for the rest of us. Unbelievably difficult to use. This is like hell, like a hell in WordPress. I'm satisfied with the Classic Editor. Please let us keep using Classic Editor. Looks like I opened that one twice. The update nobody wanted from Fast Puppy. Woof woof. I hate this thing. I hate the way it was released. It's absolute garbage. Nobody wanted this. Agreed. 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 Guys, okay, this is 9 minutes ago as of the time I started this, probably an hour ago. Let's see how many more agreeds we have. All right. All right. All right. Agreed. 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 Okay. All right. We've run out of agreeds. All right. Interesting, but what about the controversy? I don't know if the trouble is worth it. Guess we'll just have to wait and see. That's a thing we were all asking about. All right, let's see. So if it wasn't for the classic editor, I think we've already seen the horrible one. So great, page builders, which was completely, yep, we've seen that one. This is a brand new one. Plugin, which has 700,000 plus installs and highly reviews. It would be possible that WordPress would have a community splitting fork. The team should take a hard look at the person or persons who demanded this go through and reconsider if they have their user base in mind when making decisions. Sometimes the developer's vision is wrong. It is not their product anymore. So, folks, that is a trip down Gutenberg. It is rated as a 2.3 out of 5-star rating, where very easily a couple hundred of the 5-star ratings should also be 1-star ratings, according to actually reading the posts. All right. And this is the thing that Matt Mullenweg just forced into WordPress. So, of course, I listed some solutions on my other videos. Have a look at those. And my deepest apologies if you move to WordPress. FYI, I am a WordPress expert. You can use the contact form on my website. If Gutenberg has broken your site, and if you'd like to see if I can help you get it back, I will be glad to do some free consultations. Or particularly if you made it to the end of this long rant. So thanks for coming along on this video on Switch to Linux. It was atypical. I'm not even going to edit this monstrosity. I'm just going to post it up as it came out of my screen recorder. So with that being said, my deepest, sincerest indulgences for the loss and fatality of WordPress. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. I forget the rest of that, but holy crap, I wanted to sing some taps for WordPress. There's that. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for enjoying this rant. In case that this thing goes down, this is an archive just to kind of show you the state of this at the day they released Gutenberg on everybody.